Hello everyone and welcome aboard. If you're having deja vu right now, no, you are not going crazy. You are just one of the 90,000 people that watched the very first boat review I ever made on this Sea Ray 510. And today I'm going to do another boat review on the same exact boat, something I didn't think I would do, but there's been some developments over the 3 years in the JakeSea boat reviews. So I figure, what the hell, let's give this boat the attention it deserves. I've learned how to deal with field of view a little better. I figured out what a microphone is, and I've also changed the ranking since I did this boat. The ranking is still the same. It is up there on the website, but in the video, it's different. So let's go ahead and give the boat all the respect it deserves, do another boat review on it. And if you're interested in seeing more about this boat, then you can do so at setsailmarine.com, as it's listed for sale with Newport Yachts. Check out the listing down below in the description, and you can see it here. Set Sail Marine is a new boating marketplace made by myself for individuals to be able to sell their boats as well as brokers. You can go over there, you can add oil samples, you can add surveys, you can use AI to help you find, sell, and fix anything you need on your vessel. You can find that down in the description at setsailmarine.com. And with further ado, let's jump into the Sea Ray 510. Now, as we get started on the outside of the boat here, be sure to watch the entire review because there are upgrades to this boat that were not in the last one, so there will be new stuff. However, I will touch on a couple things that I did really like about it in the first boat review, one of them being these windows right here. They appear to be full glass all the way down the side of the hull. However, if you look closely, and when we get inside, you'll be able to see that they're actually only windows in these sections here and the porthole here, which maintains the structural rigidity of the boat. They did not put a giant piece of glass down the whole side of the thing so that a wave can come and blow it out. It is strong, however, it does add nice lines to the vessel. You can see those lines as we make our way back over to the stern. Some engine grades right here, providing some oxygen to the engine compartment. The Sundancer name in chrome across the side there, 510, indicating its 51-foot length. And as we get to the stern, you will see a hydraulic swim platform covered in teak with a tender mounted securely to it. And the name Bad Decisions written across the transom, which folds up in 3 sections for more compartments and storage space. As we jump onto the stern, we'll take a look in one of these storage compartments, which is the one on the far starboard side, because it houses a freshwater hookup, some telecommunication systems, a little freshwater hose outlet there, the retractable shore power cord, as well as the swim platform remote. To make our way into the rear cockpit, we head over here to the entryway. It is on the starboard side, next to a diesel fill and a little light here. There's also another diesel fill on the port side for the other tank. As we enter, we come across a freshwater washdown hose, a nice little door, and then this entire rear cockpit area. Some highlights of the rear cockpit are the table that spins and turns depending on which orientation you'd like it. Over here on the starboard side, we have a grill, as well as an ice maker down there below. And then in this hatch, there's a little lid for that grill in case you really need to get the thing hot, start cooking. The starboard side of the vessel has the only way to get up to the bow with these stairs over here. You can walk along the port. That gangway does exist on this side. However, there are no stairs. You'd have to jump over the cushions here. A couple more features of this rear cockpit area are the new JL audio speakers, a camera so that you can see the stern of the vessel from the helm, as well as this awning that retracts and goes out just like that, extending all the way over the rear cockpit. And just like that, we put it away. No need for the awning today. As you can tell, it is overcast, but let's take a look at these switches over here anyways. All of them have to do with lights except for one, which turns on these outdoor speakers here. These outdoor speakers are on a separate switch, which means if you're having a party on the inside, it does not mean that you have to be having a party on the outside, and vice versa. As we head into the upper salon here, you'll see we have another table, some wraparound seating, air conditioner over here on the rear port quarter. We have new JL speakers in here as well. And if we cycle all the way back to the starboard side, we'll find a wet bar with a small television. Underneath the wet bar, there is a refrigerator, as well as access to a DVD player there, So we have a pull-out refrigeration, little storage compartment here. On the other side, we have a liquor cabinet that has access to what can also be a trash can there next to the sink up top. Moving forward, we have a nice trash receptacle. This did not come standard with the Sea Ray, unfortunately. But if we slide this thing out of the way, you'll see there's a little track on the ground here made out of stainless steel. That is because this helm seat will rotate and turn 90 degrees so that you can take part in whatever conversation your guests are having without feeling like you're locked away over here at the helm. Not recommended to do while underway though. And before we go ahead and talk about the helm right here, let's go ahead and pull back these sunshades and reveal the glass ceiling. But it's not just a glass ceiling, it is also a convertible. So if I can do this with one hand and film at the same time, we'll see. Maybe I'll just set it down. There we go, that'll have to do. There's a button here on the helm called Skylight. You go up here and you flip this little safety device, push the button down, and now you have a convertible top. There's also some sunshades more towards the stern on this section. You can also reveal for a little more light. And now that we got all the light a YouTuber can ask for, let's go ahead and check out this helm. This helm is powered by Raymarine electronics mixed with Mercury equipment for the Cummins engine, the Vessel View 4, for example. But we have dual Raymarine chart plotters here. We've got a Fusion stereo accessory remote right here, powered by a larger stereo, which we will find down there. Over here we have Raymarine VHF handheld radio. All of our buttons, dimmers for lights, defrosters, wipers, bilge pumps, everything a boat would have. If we sit behind the wheel, we will see on this side, we have our ignitions, we have our Fireboy suppression system, we've got more technical switches like battery parallel, blowers, fuel transfers, that kind of stuff. And then over here we have our trim tab controls. This boat is powered by Cummins QSC 8.3 liter, 600 horsepower engines, two of them that are controlled and powered with a Mercury SmartCraft joystick system and throttles. That means that it has the Zeus pods down below with the counter-rotating props, and all of it is controlled off of this little joystick here when you're in neutral, and when you are in gear, you can control your autopilot with Precision Pilot up here that has Skyhook as well as your normal auto heading. And just off to the left of it here, you will see an ACR controller for a spotlight that is hiding down there up on the bow. Let's go take a look at what our bow equipment is now that we've gone over the upper salon of this vessel. Usually we run up to the bow first, but I got a little carried away with the upper salon here, so let's go ahead and check out the bow now. It is accessible through these little stairs on the starboard side. You can head up. The first thing you'll notice, we have handrails on both sides, as well as this rail that you got to slip through right here. It is not particularly wide, however, it is safe. This rail follows you all the way up, and this handrail is very useful. If we look over here at our equipment on the rooftop, you can see this nice arch. It goes over that glass convertible top that we saw from down below. Brand new Raymarine radar, TV3 track vision dish, as well as new JL audio tower speakers. And the rest of the equipment is fairly standard. We have an old school antenna over there for the television as well, the GPS stuff right here in front of us, as well as a VHF radio antenna. As we move forward, you can see into the upper salon there as I left the convertible top open. As we come up to the front of the bow, we'll have these nice sun pads right here. These sun pads actually pull up and are retractable and recline just like that. Just lift them back up, pop them back down, and they're flat again. A couple cup holders mounted into the stainless rail here, hatch forward, and then we have our anchor system. Two anchor lockers here, access on both sides, the port and starboard side of the anchor locker. Our quick windlass right there with foot controls over here off the port side. Also located over here off the port side, we have our freshwater fill up towards the front. And then we got nav lights both on each side, port and starboard, you know, like how nav lights are legally supposed to be on every single boat. That might be the most standard piece of equipment on every single boat, but this one's got it too, so you can go at night. Coming back on inside of the vessel, we will head down to the lower salon. The lower salon hides a couple more goodies for us. We have a galley over here off to the port, and now you can see what I was talking about in terms of those windows. That big glass pane going down the side of the vessel not actually an entire window. Here you can see small portholes, good structural shape, not going to blow anything out while at sea. Large sink here for any sort of drinks, cleaning, ice, stuff you normally do with a sink. Over here, more forward, we have a Kenyan double burner stovetop. Underneath here, more storage, cleaning supplies, 3 drawers down there, compartments for dishes or whatever you might need. Up here, that fold up, just like that. Next to the sink, we have a refrigerator and a freezer, 3/4. Fill it with whatever you need. And above that, we have a microwave oven, the old Cuisinart microwave. If we turn around, we'll find ourselves with another nice relaxation area. We have a couch over here, more windows over here on the starboard side of the hull, nice giant mirror so I can see myself filming. And then over here, we've got a bigger infotainment system, Samsung TV, hooked up to the smaller TV that we saw earlier at the wet bar. And then below it, we have our infotainment systems, Bose, Samsung DVD player, Bose stereo, as you can see up there up top. And as we move forward, we will get into the control panel for the entire vessel. Top is main distribution panel for AC, middle is DC, and the bottom here is a couple miscellaneous items like the controller for that track vision dish up on the roof we just saw, as well as the master stereo down here, along with your battery switches, water levels, waste control systems. Kind of standard procedure there for the control panel. Across from the control panel on the port side is a head. This is the day head and the forward head all in one. It comes with a shower and access to the forward V-berth, which we will go into right now. This is one of 2 cabins of this vessel. Very sizable for the second cabin. If you look really closely, you can see that there's actually a controller up there and that this whole bed reclines. So if you want to be more in an upright position, you can push one of those buttons there, crank yourself upwards, watch TV on your own little Samsung here. You have your own air conditioning control systems over here and your own light switches over there by the bed, so you don't have to crawl all the way up here before getting in and out, as well as having your own hatch above you. And then another mirror. Nice closet space. As we head back down towards the stern of the boat and head down past the galley, we will end up in what is the master suite. The master suite is the width of the full beam, with the bed running from port to starboard, not forward and aft. You can see here, more mirrors, helps make the boat feel much bigger than it is. Each side of the bed, we have our own nightstands with our own controls. That side has its own air conditioning controls over there, as well as a little closet. This side, outlets and light switches. Underneath here, which is beneath the staircase, we have a washer and a dryer. Over here on this wall that has the other head behind it, we have another infotainment system, Bose stereo as well. And if we look back over here, we have a sink and a vanity with cabinet space above and below here. And it's separate from the head itself, which has its own shower and its own little portal. So with that, we have a very spacious Sea Ray 510. I will discuss one last thing for you, which is my favorite part about this vessel, and that is that right here in the lower salon and in front of the helm, the windshield works as a giant glass cathedral that provides a lot of light for the entire boat. It also makes people like myself that are a little taller feel comfortable in the vessel. At no point in this boat do I have to duck for any sort of height restriction. It is a sizable boat, especially for an express, like a 50-foot express boat. It's got a lot of room, especially with the way they designed this upper and lower salon. It doesn't feel like you're stuck with all your passengers all the time. Now, before we get to the new star total for this boat, we have one last thing to do, something I started doing on this boat 3 years ago, and I've done on every single boat review since, which is the Christian test, which means we have to go down here. For those of you unfamiliar, I will refresh everyone's memory, or tell you for the first time, the Christian test is something I named after my boat partner, Christian, because I make him shove himself behind the engines of our boat. And so when I do these reviews, I shove myself behind the engines of other people's boats to see exactly how hard it would be to maintain or work on them. But before I do that, as I'm rudely interrupted by the vacuum flush system, give me a moment. Okay, before I do that, let's take a look at this engine room. We have one Cummins QSC 8.3 liter diesel engine right here, connected to those Zeus pod drives. That's the starboard one, that's the port one, this is the port engine. 600 horsepower each for a total of 1,200 horsepower. We look forward here, we have some control systems, Fireboy suppression system over on that side, Cummins Onan generator over here on the port side, and then the fuel tanks are, you can kind of see them just above right here. And there are a couple fun little features in here that are nice, like we have a little freshwater accidents right here. Okay, let's jump into the Christian test. I mounted this camera over here last time we did this, but I don't really remember where. And just like that, we're behind the starboard engine. This boat does really well with the Christian test, at least on the starboard side. There are some battery banks over here. If we head on over to the port side, you can find me over here fitting as well. There is a generator here, however, there is ample space to work on whatever you need to on this side. This is a very sizable engine room for these engines, and while they are fit in here kind of low with the Zeus pod drives, they are not, I would say, difficult to work on compared to other engine rooms. Very good Christian test on this boat, 5 out of 5. So let's go ahead and summarize this vessel. It is a Sea Ray 510 Sundancer Express. No fly bridge on this one, as you can see. My hands are through the ceiling. It was made in 2015. It has a length overall of 50 feet 10 inches, so just 2 inches short of that 10 part of its name. It is 14 feet 8 inches wide. It has a fuel capacity of 400 gallons. It has a freshwater capacity of 110 gallons with a waste capacity of 60 gallons. It has twin Cummins QSC 8.3 liter 600 horsepower diesel engines that are attached to Zeus pod drives with counter-rotating props. At a dry weight of 41,000 pounds, that brings the top speed of this vessel to just over 30 knots with a cruising speed of just over 20 knots. Now let's go ahead and get to the stars of this vessel. Stars used to be out of 5, however, they are now 1 to 10, with 5 being average. Not a 7, this isn't high school, 7 is not passing, 5 is passing. But that is not something this vessel has to worry about, as it is done much better than 5 in just about every single category. Its 2 lowest categories, it got a 6 in, which is still above average. Those 2 categories being performance and quality. The reason it got a 6 for performance is because it does move pretty good. However, it is not a speedster for boats of this category. I know the Sunseeker Predators haul ass, as well as some of the other larger 50-foot vessels. They like to make them go very fast now. That was not what this boat was designed for. This boat was designed for comfort and practicality, which you will see here in some of the other rankings we have. And as far as quality is concerned, it gets a 6 in that, which is above average, because this boat is 10 years old and everything on it still works, still functions, still operates just how it would have when it came off the line. It was also tied in its top category. It got an 8 in both practicality and value. The reason it gets an 8 in practicality is because this boat has everything you could possibly want for a boat its size. It's got 2 levels of salons, so you can divide up the kids. It's got 2 staterooms, 1 full master beam, so you can really live comfortably on this, either with your own family or with maybe 2 separate couples. However you want to go on vacation, this boat has you covered. And while this boat is for sale, I did give value an 8 before it went up for sale. It has been an 8 for a couple years now, so don't come after me for that. The reason it gets an 8 for value is because compared to other boats in its class, like Sunseeker Predators and other larger yachts, it really is a good value for the money. Sea Ray unfortunately does not make boats this size anymore. They have transitioned into making smaller boats. I believe their biggest boat they make now is around 30 feet, not 50 feet. So this really is a special boat, especially for people that are big fans. These aren't something that you'll be able to get anymore, and therefore they hold their value really well over time. So with that, the Sea Ray 510 Sundancer round 2 has been completed, and you can check it out if you'd like to see more on it in the description below at setsailmarine.com. And if you'd like to see all the rankings and how it compares against other boats, you can check that out on JakeSea.com/rankings. That'll also be linked down below. Thank you for watching. Hope this review was better than the first review. Smooth sailing.